Welcome to Ask Hypnotica 45. And as you can see, I may have the floating head look today with a nice black on black, which I'm going to help promote my friend's podcast, Nerd with Balls Podcast. There you go. It's all about giving back. It's all about having admirable traits and win-win situations in your life. Actually, win-win-win. That's the best thing you can do. So, let's get started, man, because I'm excited. So, like my new haircut? Obviously, I'm going with a new look here. Why? Because I'm an experimenter and I'm real curious to see, how things work. When I'm out there, like some girls are like, "Ooh, it's gray," and the light turns on. It's very weird how this happens. But I'll tell you a funny story because we are talking about man stuff here. Before I had my hair a little dyed sometimes because, I'm working in a nightclub, so you kind of stay young, look healthy, hip, and stuff like this. But I was kind of going through a thing where I was feeling this like resistance, and it was really kind of weird for me. I was like, okay, I know my game is, I could feel it's off, and I couldn't tell what it was. And it was like, and as soon as I just said to myself, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna let the gray go out. Let's see what happens. And it was like when I cut the hair off and it all started growing in, it's like the floodgates opened back up. And a lot of this has to do with, it's the not giving a fuck attitude. And I didn't really give a fuck before, but I was like, okay, well, dyeing it. But there's something that really is primal that happens, that women are just like, something about that as a man's just owning his shit. So I just want to kind of throw that out there. So if you're out there and you're feeling a little stagnant, okay, shift it up a bit. Try it. You always notice I'm always trying different looks because it's amazing to me working in the nightclub scene, and I'm always testing stuff because I think that's important. I'll cut my hair one way, and all of a sudden, girls that, well, once they sleep with them, they're hooked. Okay, that's the way it is. But girls that weren't really attracted to you, all of a sudden, with this look, all of a sudden they're like, oh shit, that looks really good. And you're like, ding, ding, ding. And then when you go on different looks, it gets different women. It's crazy how it works. But hey, that's my job, right? My job is to inform you through trial and error. And there's been lots of errors. So, Hypnotica Ask 45. Here we go. This comes from Luca from, I'm going to totally screw this up, Rijeka, Croatia. And he's like, I want to thank you for taking the time to make these videos and sharing bits of wisdom with us mortals in an entertaining way. That's funny, like I'm immortal, okay? Ancient, but not immortal yet. Trick I am. So are you. Gotta find the trick. Anyways, here's this question. Recently I've been thinking about virtues. And I see and respect in other men. His English is a little off, so. While also making a list of values I want to live my life by. Things like courage to go after the things I want, perseverance in the face of adversity, generosity, and so forth. I was wondering, what is your take on this? Do you believe there are virtues a man should live by, and which are they for you? Or do you think a man should do whatever it takes to get what he wants? Good question. So here it is, man. If you want to live in what I consider the ultimate way, which is like the golden rule. Okay, do unto others as you'd want done to you. And I break it down like this. I just go, look, if the whole world was just like you, if like the whole world was you, okay, like everyone there acted, what kind of world would it be? Would it be a world of manipulation? Would it be a world of trying to get one over on someone? Would it be a cheap world? Would it be a boring world? Would it be whatever, okay? Bottom line is, you think about what kind of world you want to live in as you, because you are going to be the physical, living right here in the moment now representation to those around you. You are the living embodiment of that vision. And for me personally, I want the best. This is my time through this physical counter. I want the best, and I want to explore it, and I want to see what this life and the everything around me is. And so the virtues that I personally have is, one of them is just an insatiable appetite for devouring information and being curious about how things work, and also living above and beyond generosity. All right. And if you don't know me, I take care of a lot of people. I help a lot of people, and it bites me in the ass a lot. Okay. Let's just say conservatively, 6 out of 10 times that I go and help people. Okay. 6 out of 10. It backfires on me, all right? Or I get fucked over somehow, or they steal from me, or something like this. And it's been trying. Even my wife has said, why do you do that shit? And my answer is this, because I'm not going to change my way of living in the world because of somebody else, okay? I'm not going to be the effect of the world. Okay, I want to be the cause of the world. And even though you're going to get beat up a bit, okay, if you live that way, to me, it's the proper way to live. Like I can, at wherever that transition period is or whatever, and I'm going through, I can look back and go, yeah, I went the extra distance. And these are things, that's another virtue, like going the extra distance, all right? Doing your best to follow your word, okay? And everyone screws up at these, okay? But you got to get back on the horse and say, okay, where did I screw up? Okay, let's do this again, because a life not really broken down and analyzed and adapted to and created, okay, is not really an examined life, okay? The examined life, that's the right way to say it. To me, it's just, you're just like a clone, okay? So yeah, like you really should like look at the things that are very cool, the virtuous traits in other men. Like that's why we're all here, because we're living examples of what we like in other people. Okay, there may be things that you like in this guy over here, and you're like, hey, I like that. So you model it. You look after it and say, how's this work? Ask them questions. I mean, one of the things when I was growing up, when I was a dancer, all right, I got the name, if you've read my book, Meta Whore, okay, as Cheddar. Because they're like, dude, and I was like 21 years old. I was the youngest guy. These guys were like 30 years old, been doing it for many years. Okay, they were the experts, and I was like trying to figure shit out still. Then I was like, how does this happen? Like I'm sitting here talking to a woman going from A to B and not really getting to C, and these guys just come up and they go from A to C, and I'm like, how does that work? So I was always asking them questions. I was just curious. And they said, dude, you asked so many cheesy questions, which was okay because I didn't care if I looked dumb or stupid or whatever. I was curious and I wanted to learn. I wanted to know what those guys knew. So they named me Cheddar. They even put it on my card, all right, like Cheddar. And so when I had to come up with, I just said, hey, when girls ask Cheddar, they're like, Cheddar. I'm like, hey, everything's better with Cheddar, right? That's the way it works. Anyways, if a man does whatever it takes, this is lower level thinking. This is like what you said about it. Should a man do whatever it takes to get what he wants? Not. I don't think so. Okay, that's not really living a true, genuine, golden road way of life. All right, because it's easy. If I trust me on this one, right? If I wanted to fuck people over with what I know, like I could cause some serious havoc and get exactly what I wanted. Okay, I could easily rip people off, manipulate them, brainwash them, whatever it is. Okay, I could do it. But I don't choose to. Why? Because that's like reptilian thinking. It's lower level thinking. It's control. It needs that power, okay? And that's not what true power is. True power and true ability to belong is being more holistic, all right? It's like looking at the world. We talked about it, said if everyone was like me, how would that be? And a lot of these traits you got to try on for size, okay? Like I remember when I was like too nice, when I was like in high school and stuff, I was trying too nice and it didn't work for me. So I'm thinking, okay, what's more realistic? How about just being blunt and straightforward? And I learned that developing myself in the 23 years of running strip clubs. Like you can't fuck around there because those women will run all over you. So, all these things are developing, and then you get to the point where nothing will affect you. You're like, this is who it is. It's like you're in a experiment, okay? And you're the alchemist, and you're putting these things together and you're trying on for size, and maybe you'll be a little unbalanced here and a little unbalanced here. But bottom line is when you get it, then you're like, all right, now I can play. Now it's about like expanding, because at first you're like, you keep the bubble, if you want to call it aura bubble, energetic system. You're playing with it. You're trying to figure it out. But when it clicks and you get it, and you're only going to get that through the examined life of trying things on, then all of a sudden you're like, this is it. Like I got it. And then that's when you expand, and that's when you become bigger than, and that's when you like really turn heads. You'll turn heads anyways, examining yourself, because most people don't want to put that energy and effort into it. But let's get back to the guy who does whatever he wants to get whatever he wants. Okay, it's a short-term game, because you're going to rip people off, and you're going to cut bridges, and it's just not going to work for you. So if that's what you want, just realize that it's going to be a very short road for you, and you're not going to develop any lasting relationships or any lasting friendships or business deals. All right, because you're looking for the dime over the dollar. And that's basically what it is. But when you have a holistic thing and you want the win-win-win, and you have like the virtues of what's important to you, then that's when you really get to grow. And you also think about it like this. Like I always tell people, cut your ancestry bullshit off. Like take charge. Like the buck stops here. If I know there's traits, like say my dad, he loved to eat sweets or things like this, or I pick it up on unconsciously the way that my parents were to a degree, and I see them doing that, I get the premonition, or I get the idea like, oh shit, this is where I got this from. All right, but how do I want to raise my kid if I have kids? What is the person who I want to be? And so I go, okay, it may be tough because it's been a habit, it's been ingrained in, but the buck stops here. And you figure, who do you want to be? And that's when it comes down to creation and co-creating with the universe and those around you, figuring out who do you want to be? And then really hunkering down and going, okay, I'm going for it. And you're going to probably, there's a lot of trials and tribulations of getting there. But overall, you get to look at yourself in the mirror. Okay. And at the end, when you like put your plan out there, okay, it's a master blueprint of who and what you want to be. You go after it. And all of a sudden that day will come if you go at it and you persevere through it. When you look around, you're like, wow, I got everything I want. Then comes the next level when you're like, okay, now I got to think bigger. And that took me a little bit of a time because I'm like, oh shit, like I kind of got everything that I asked for, like 95% of the stuff. Okay, then when you get that, then you're like, now I got to think even bigger. And that's really cool to get to that point too, because it forces you to think. And a lot of people don't get to that. They don't get to these different levels. So the bottom line of all this is who do you want to be? You know, do you want to be proud of yourself? Do you want to know that you went the distance, or did you take the easy road just to get by? Because listen, when you take the easy road first, it's going to get really hard. All right. But if you take the hard road first and you learn to do the things that you need to do to get shit done and to go above and beyond and work a little bit harder, okay, then it starts getting easy because it becomes a habit for you and it becomes a part of your personality and your character. And that's what you really want. Like, what kind of character are you? You know, are you a character with that you would be proud to know? Okay. Are you going to be a character that your kids can look up to and go, wow, that's amazing? Or are you going to do the easy way out and be lazy and all that other shit? Okay. Choice is yours. There's either real power or there's okay. Don't be You know, think about it. Examine your life. Go for it. Why? Because you deserve it. There's only going to be one of you that comes through this physical plane with the exact ideas, with the exact history, with the exact DNA. Okay, it's not going to happen again. Never, ever, ever, ever. You're the one coming through now. Okay, step up into that. Be like, you know what? I'm going to create this. And that's what we need more of. More powerful men that are conscious, that are out of that primordial, like reptilian brain, or are bigger thinkers. And that's what's going to make the difference. So I hope I answered your question. And we will talk soon because I'm back on the roll. Here we go. Ask Hypnotica 45. Adios.